but I am owed some food. I am owed some drinks. I want to talk about it. So I know I don't share a lot on here about sobriety and about my journey to sobriety and the lessons that I've learned. But I wanted to share a little story because I remember a time when I felt like I was owed a good time. And I feel like that translates to a lot of things in life where we feel entitled to a good time. We feel entitled to an experience. So let's talk about that for a second. So if you don't know me, I'm Andy, and this is Mindset Matters More. And, I've been sober now for almost 10 years. Almost 10 years. Exactly 3,491 days to be exact. And I love telling this story to highlight, just kind of the level of crazy that I have sometimes whenever I'm doing a speaking engagement. And so, me and my sister, we grew up on New Kids on the Block, right? I was a Joey McIntyre fan. Like even my dad, when we would talk about New Kids on the Block, Raquel would say that she loved one of them. And then he would turn to me and be like, oh, which one do you like? And I'm like, the one with the blue eyes. And yeah, you know what? Matter of fact, if you put a picture of Joey McIntyre next to a picture of my husband, you might see a little resemblance. Okay, a lot of resemblance. But the point is that we were in love with the New Kids on the Block. We had the buttons. I had the little slippers. We had posters. Like we were New Kids on the Block fans. And so my sister asked me, hey, do you want to go to a New Kids on the Block Backstreet Boys concert? And I was like, absolutely. Absolutely. I wasn't really a Backstreet Boy fan. By that time, I'd grown out of the boy band fanaticism. But, New Kids on the Block, we're going. Of course, I got to go, right? And so we go. And this was, obviously I was still drinking. And at that time, the place that we went to see the concert, they only served one drink and then they shut down. And we were like pissed off about it. We were like, what the hell? Like we planned on getting like wasted, but we didn't get the opportunity to. So, we watched the concert, had a good time, but I was kind of bummed out. I'm not going to talk about anybody else. I'm saying I was bummed out because I didn't get my fill of drink, right? I mean, think about when you go to a restaurant and the food isn't good. Think about like when you go on a date and it was just kind of boring. Just think about like when you plan on having this awesome experience and then it just falls flat. Well, that's how it was for me, right? And I didn't think anything of it, but then not even like a week later, she says, hey, there's another New Kids on the Block concert that is happening at Fenway. Do you want to go? And I was like, absolutely. Try this again. We get to relive that night. Make sure that we get enough to drink, double-fisted, pre-game, like really just enjoy ourselves. Maybe even go out afterwards to the club. Well, that was like what happened in my head. And so she was like, oh, we're going up to one of the suites and then we're going to go down. We had like 6th row tickets. And or was it 9th? Whatever. We were close to the stage. And so we go up to the suite and they had, it was fully catered. But there was also free alcohol. And you don't give Andy Ruano, because that was my name at the time. It wasn't Hoffer. That was my maiden name. You do not give Andy Ruano free alcohol because you're going to go broke. Okay. So I remember I was drinking there and so at this point, I think it is a great idea to make up for the experience that I had at the first New Kids on the Block concert. And I was like, yes. I grab a popcorn container. It was like a small one. It was a big one. Okay. It's like a large size cup for drinks, but a small size cup for popcorn. So just imagine that, right? And I remember pouring straight rum in there. And I was like, yep, this is my drink for the night because I'm clearly going to drink a whole bottle. And I'm already like wasted at this point. I had no business drinking that much, but I thought I was like, yeah, this is normal. This is cool. So we go down to our seats. And I remember seeing Mark Wahlberg. And I remember seeing Mayor Menino. That's how long ago this was. Rest in peace, Mumbles. And I remember going up to the fence, and Mark Wahlberg thinks I'm like talking to him, but I'm like, no, not you, Mayor Menino. And he turns around, and Mayor Menino's like standing behind him, and I like wanted a picture with him. So they basically took my drink from me, took the picture with Mayor Menino, gave me my drink back, and said, okay, bye. And so I go back to my seat, and I black out. I come to, and it's raining, and New Kids on the Block is singing, and I black out. I come to, I'm in an ambulance, and I remember asking, do I have to stay here? And they're like, no, but you should. Like, we need to take you to the hospital. And I was like, but you can't keep me here. I black out. I come to, I'm outside in the rain, laying in a puddle, crying. I black out. I get to my house somehow, some way, some miracle. I wake up, soaking wet, in my bed. All because I was owed a good time. I was owed a good experience. You know, experiences aren't always going to be 100%. You know, that meal's not going to be great. That workout's not going to be great. That date's not going to be great. That movie is going to be eh. But there is no sort of experience karmic balance. You're not owed an extremely awesome time just because you had an okay time or a bad time. It's very much like, hey, that was just the experience. You should have experienced, man, I could have experienced 6th row at a New Kids on the Block concert at Fenway. I could have experienced dancing and singing all night and having a good time. I could have experienced an amazing night, a second night. I could have, even with the Backstreet Boys, I could have just enjoyed it for what it was, sober. 1 drink deep, and that's it. But I often feel like I'm owed an experience. I'm owed something. How dare the universe give me a 2 out of 10 experience? Everything has to be 10 out of 10, top-notch, luxury, presidential. But yet, I say this only because I feel like there are times where we do that, right? Where we're owed something, and we're not owed anything. Everything that we have to cultivate, and cultivate it with intention. Not out of spite for the past, not out of some idea that we can control the future. It's appreciating the here and the now. It's appreciating this moment for what it is. You know, I got to spend time with my sister, going to see, you know, our childhood crushes. And it was such a good time. It should have been such a good time, at least. And I spent it bitter. I spent it resentful. And so, I mean, today that's kind of what I do. I kind of try to cultivate a here and now. I mean, I'm not perfect at it. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you right now that there are times where I'm just like, ugh, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I'm owed. Like, I still do that. But then I try to rein it back in. I try to appreciate things for what it's worth. And more often than not, I do. But it still creeps in there. You know, I'm only human. I'm not perfect. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to let you go. Love you guys. Bye.